What's up guys, and welcome to the first video of this unit review series. And I know, it's already day 3 now, but Artemis is the newest AX unit to join Dragon Traveler since I started this channel, and she's already generating a lot of hype within the community. Some players are even calling her one of the strongest and most versatile characters we've had so far. But is she really worth your summons? In this video we will break down her entire kit, cover her best gear and team compositions, and finally answer the question, should you pull for Artemis or not? Let's start with the basics. Artemis is a physical ranged main DPS from the Archer class, but unlike a traditional carry, she brings much more than raw damage. She buffs her allies, controls enemy overdrives, applies debuffs, and scales incredibly well with the right team setup. Her talent is her core mechanic. Artemis' kit mainly revolves around two mechanics: Moon Soul and Full Moon. Her goal is simple: you build up 5 Moon Soul stacks, automatically consume them, and enter the Full Moon state for 6 seconds. Once she enters Full Moon state, she gains a huge 60 to 132 attack buff, 200% attack speed, reduces her overdrive cost by 2, and every basic attack reduces the cooldown of her ultimate skill, Arrow of the Moon Goddess. On top of that, every allied overdrive grants her 1 awakening stack. So let's talk about her overdrive. Usually you want to prioritize her overdrive in almost every situation, and here's why. Darkmoon Embrace buffs every ranged ally with 25 haste and 25 to 52% bonus damage for 6 seconds. But here's the fun part: it also applies the Darkmoon state to Artemis and the ally with the lowest HP, making them untargetable for a short duration of 4 seconds. Finally, it grants 3 Moon Soul stacks, allowing Artemis to reach Full Moon state much faster. Even though she's more of a consistent damage dealer due to her talent effect, her ultimate skill is where most of her burst comes from. The first part contains of a decent single target hit of 420 to 740% attack, but if Awakening is available, Artemis fires a second empowered arrow, dealing massive additional damage of 630 to 1110% attack. Afterwards, she immediately gains 1 Moon Soul stack, helping to keep her full moon cycle up. By the way, the skill has only a 5-second cooldown. If you can create a consistent amount of Awakening stacks, this skill quickly becomes a very scary damage source. Alright, let's move on to her secret skill, Phantom Hunt, where Artemis starts bringing even more utility to the squad. Every time Dark Moon starts and ends, she automatically attacks each enemy luminary. These attacks have a 50% chance to reduce physical defense by 35% and to increase the enemy's overdrive cost by 1. Against targets with an overdrive just below 4, the increase is guaranteed. And if your team triggers punishment, Phantom Hunt becomes stronger and stronger throughout the fight. Her last ability is extremely annoying in PvP and gives Artemis surprising survivability. When she's about to receive a critical hit, she becomes briefly immune to any form of damage, enters Dark Moon for 2 seconds, jumps away, and immediately counterattacks. To top it off, this skill can also trigger the punishment effect, and when it does, the target is also silenced for 5 seconds. It's a small ability, but it makes her surprisingly hard to kill and can completely shut down the enemy carries, especially assassins. Now let's talk about star upgrades. 2 copies, so 6 stars, let you gain an additional stack of Moon Soul when triggering her ultimate skill. And at purple 3, your whole ranged squad in the team gets into the Dark Moon state and makes them untargetable for 8 seconds right at the start of battle. This alone is already pretty strong, but the biggest breakpoint in my opinion is level 4. Level 4 lets Artemis enter Full Moon immediately after using her overdrive, which dramatically speeds up her entire rotation. In addition, her haste and damage support lasts now for 9 seconds, and a Dark Moon state for a total of 6 seconds. Remember, the more haste your allies have, the more Awakening stacks you gain, which means more damage from her ultimate skill, more Moon Soul stacks, and therefore more consistent damage through her talent. Her abilities synergize really good with each other. Beyond that, the later stars mainly improve her scaling through attack, crit, and attack speed. The basic stat buff, they are usually not considered free to play, but you can go around it. And if Artemis is your favorite and you're willing to fully invest into her, you are not only rewarded with a good carry, but also one of the best support abilities in the game, which is 600% crit to allied range luminaries, which you get from her level 6 Divinity upgrade. Since the other Divinity upgrades are usually just stat buffs, you are free to pause the video to look at the other Divinity upgrades, but we will move on with the stat priority. So for gear and substats, the preferred build is Haste first. Haste allows more frequent overdrives, not just for Artemis, but for her team too, due to her support buff. Attack scales with every part of her damage. So as a substat, attack and haste is the way to go. After that, prioritize crit, crit damage, and finally attack speed. Therefore, we put on the haste gear set with the eagle statue for higher penetration, and definitely go for Last Whisper as your weapon choice. But for those who are just as unlucky as I am and never pull the eagle statue, you can also go for the arcane weapon set and accessory set. For subclasses, you have now two options: Sharpshooter and Blood Hunter. They both work incredibly strong on Artemis, but I personally prefer the Sharpshooter subclass because we get an additional 16% attack speed. And since she gets so much more Moonsoul stacked with higher star level, Blood Hunter maybe could be more interesting after Red 1, but I think in general, Sharpshooter should be the subclass of your choice at first. When it comes to positioning, there aren't any special tricks or something. Since she is an archer, she gets in the back row for the class-specific bonus damage, and that's it. If your entire back row is vulnerable against assassins, putting Artemis against them is an option due to her special skill O-Leap. In the recommended setup, make sure to pair Artemis with Vivian, either to the right or the left side of the board, and place Talos right next to her. Talos has insane synergy with Artemis. You will see that in an example video I show you later. And due to her directive recharge ability, when she reaching Divinity, Talos immediately casts a secret skill on Artemis, which lets Artemis enter full moon state almost immediately at the start of battle to ramp up her damage even quicker. I also want to show you a quick gameplay as an example of how Artemis Kit is functioning in practice. For context, my Artemis in this video is already Red 1 with the shown haste gear equipped. And since she is the unit with the highest attack on my team, she instantly activates her overdrive due to Talos' recharge ability and divinity status. This means full immune state right at the start of battle. And I think you already noticed that I put my Artemis in the enemy assassin's path. This was intended because as soon as Hades attacks, there are a few things happening on the screen. Firstly, her special skill gets activated because Hades was about to crit Artemis. This means she gets damage immunity and enters the Dark Moon state for 2 seconds, making her untargetable and applying the physical defense down effect. Then she immediately leaps to the side and counterattacks, and Hades gets silenced for 5 seconds. But that's not it. Since Artemis is in a Dark Moon state and her level 3 talent effect applied Dark Moon to the other ranged luminaries in the team, Hades completely turns away from the backline and is now forced to attack the front line. This is one hell of a counter mechanic to assassins. Another thing is that the enemy has consistently increased overdrive cost, as you can tell by the red numbers. And in a team versus team scenario, Artemis is very likely to deal the most damage in your squad, like you see in the video. Even though my Jean Wu and Talos is in this video reach Divinity, they are nowhere near Artemis at Red 1. Still, in a boss fight, this will likely not be the case. Artemis has a harder time to activate all of her abilities when not getting crit by an enemy luminary at first. Usually, she also gains a lot of damage from her secret skill, Phantom Hunt, because applying punishment increases her AoE damage by a lot. So, okay, let's finally answer the question, is Artemis worth summoning? For pros, one of Artemis' biggest strengths is her flexibility. She fits into both Arcane Wisdom and Illusion Veil teams and is one of the most important pieces there, making her a valuable investment if you're planning to build one of these endgame compositions. On top of that, she brings some serious impressive damage potential, especially when reaching high star level, while also offering surprisingly good survivability thanks to her self-protection mechanics. She also provides useful crowd control and utility through effects like silence and physical defense reduction, and of course her massive haste and damage support, making her valuable even beyond her role DPS role. Because of that, Artemis performs well across almost every game mode, whether you're focusing on PvE or looking to stay competitive in PvP. And finally, she synergizes with some of the most popular characters in the game, including units like Azure Dragon and Vivian, making it easy to slot her into teams many players are already building. On the other side, if you don't invest much into her, you quickly realize that she will need some time to get herself going in the fight. You might not see her over Divinity Vermilion Bird in terms of damage in the Illusion Veil team until she gets in the Red Star territory, I think. So keep that in mind, and especially against bosses. So yeah, keep that in mind that you might have to spend every single one of your precious mythic tickets. If you decide to go for Artemis, there is no such thing as doing it halfway. You go all in. And overall, I think Artemis is one of the most complete main damage dealers in the game. This being said, she's a carry, a support, and a utility unit all in one. If you're looking to invest into either Arcane or Illusion teams, she's definitely the best pickup for your account. I would personally rate Artemis 9.5 out of 10, which ultimately is a recommendation for summoning her. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope this review helped you make a better decision. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you would like to see more Dragon Traveler content, feel free to subscribe. It's completely free and it's a big support for me. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.